Recently in class, I was talking with a member about how volume on a max rep set works, and it made me realize that maybe more people don't understand it than I thought. So I wanted to go over what is volume and how does this apply to strength training and making you stronger. So I've got a couple different analogies and explanations up here, but the first thing to understand is we're just simply talking about how much total weight was moved in a given set or over multiple sets. So it's a way of just measuring, am I getting stronger? Am I moving more weight? So let's use this with a money analogy because we can all understand this. So say I have a job where I sell things, whatever those things might be, trinkets of some sort. So let's say I have a lot of different things, and on the first day, I sell a whole bunch of my smaller priced items. So you can see day one, I make a lot of sales, and all of these are relatively low cost things, right? They're all under $100, and I earn $520 for the day. Well, the next day, I sell just a few, but higher price things. So I feel like I'm making more money because I'm making more per transaction, and I actually only end up netting $490. So I actually made more money doing more, but smaller amounts. So it's not necessarily about how big the transaction is, or in this case, how big the weight is on the bar. It's how many times you do it. Now, there's a lot more nuance to this. I'm not gonna say lift a 10-pound weight 1,000 times and try to get stronger that way. What I'm saying is it doesn't always matter if you do the absolute most weight possible. Rather, whatever weight you are doing, try to get the most out of how many reps you can do. So in this example here, we've got 5 sets of a lift, and say we do 100 pounds for 3 reps. That means we moved 300 pounds worth of weight. If you literally just measure how much weight is on the bar, how many times you did it, you can say, I moved 300 pounds worth of weight. And then we can see I went up to 105, 110, 120, 125, and these subsequent reps. So I could measure the volume of each individual set to see how much weight was moved. So really, I moved a lot more weight doing 100 3 times than if I did 125 1 time. So if that's all I did for the day, if I only had one option to do one set, it'd be better to do my 100 pounds 3 times because I moved more weight, therefore I'm going to get stronger from that than if I just did 125 once. Now let's say we come in, we do a very similar workout on a different day, and we don't go as heavy, okay? So we only get up to 115, whereas here we had a 120 pound set and 125 pound set. So at first you would think this one's gonna make me stronger because I ended up going heavier. Well, what if on this one, you notice, instead of doing 3, 2, 1, we did 4, 3, 2, we just did a little bit more reps, even though the weight was somewhat lighter. And if I total everything in this session, I moved 1,200 pounds worth of weight. In this session down here, which I didn't lift as heavy, I just did a couple more reps, I moved 1,730 pounds worth of weight. So I, in fact, got much stronger in this session than in this one. Now, there's an old school program we used to follow years ago called the 5-3-1. And in that program, every single week, the last lift was for max reps. And you would do exactly this. You would total your volume. So then every week, you're just looking at the volume and seeing if you can make it go up a little bit every week, regardless of how much weight was on the bar, because you're going for max reps. So although you maybe did a little bit lighter weight, you squeezed out 2 more reps, and then ultimately you've moved more weight, you've made more transactions, you made more money, you gained more strength. So guys, that's why we use volume. It's also a fun way just to help work on muscle endurance. Instead of just racking the bar, once you've hit a set required number, you push as hard as you can, and you realize like, oh, I can squeeze out a few more, and you can get some adaptation that way as well. I hope this helped you out. If you got any more questions on volume or sets and reps and all this fun programming stuff, let me know. I'd love to chat about it.